Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609 in a different look here. I was going to do a nice driving video, but it's sprinkling rain and it's dark clouds and the lighting is extremely poor. So I'll let y'all look out the back window instead of the front window. Anyway, I get to wear my shades. But anyway, what I thought I'd do this morning is a video related to RVing my way. What does that mean? Well, as you know, I started RVing a long time ago. I've mainly done travel trailers and I've enjoyed the life. It's become a way of life for me, which I enjoy. I haven't lived in a sticks and bricks home for around 30 years. So what does that mean? Nothing. It just means I haven't lived in a sticks and bricks home. But when I started out, I started off like everybody else, going to RV parks, state parks, national parks, and, all the places that people would go, all the well-known national parks and all the crowded state parks. And it was enjoyable, but I was learning, and learning sometimes can be difficult, particularly back in a time when you had no access to the internet and no cell phones whatsoever. And the only way you could find an RV park was by using one of those 5-pound books. It was about this thick and the print was microscopic, and you'd find a spot and call them on the phone and to see if they had one available and tell them when you were going to be there, and that was the way that was, and that's enough said about that. But now, and for the past few years, several years, I just do it. I guess everybody has their own way to do things. I have mine, and my way of RVing now and for the future will be to go when I get ready to go, wherever I want to go, for as long as I want to be there, and then come back to my home base. Do I recommend a home base? Yes, I do, but that's your choice. If you can't afford it or you don't want to fool with it, well, that's your choice. But for me, a home base works great because right now in the wintertime, it gives me a place to come for about 3 or 4 months until the weather warms up enough to go moving or traveling out west and enjoying beautiful scenery out in the western USA, which I do. I go pretty much the same route or close yearly. Why? Because that's my migration route. I migrate from here to Iran, Texas, then up to, I used to go to I'm trying to think of the state park. It's right past Fort Stockton on the way to Van Horn on the left. It's Springs State Park, I think. I can't remember. And spend the night there and then go on out west. I usually go to Gear Springs, north of Las Cruces, and then on out. But yeah, RVing my way is pretty relaxed. I don't like to take long trips. I like to take long journeys, but as far as the getting there, I'm in no hurry. I like to limit my daily driving distance to around 200 miles per day, even though I could go farther. There's no hurry. See, that's the whole key. And besides that, those stops along the way are part of the journey. That's part of the enjoyment. It's not like the destination is the only place to stop and enjoy things. The whole journey is the trip for me, and there is no destination. There is no end in my RVing. I just go and then eventually I come back home. Is that good? Sure, it is for me, But today in Central Texas right now, it's about 62 degrees right here, and mist and rain and dark skies. Supposed to have some thunderstorms, I don't know. But yeah, here's something else too. Whenever you RV, and I've mentioned this in a video or two, I'm sure, for example, a lot of people ask me if I was going to go out to Quartzsite, Arizona to the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, or just go to Quartzsite. I certainly wasn't going to go to the Rubber RTR, or whatever they call it, Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, because it's too crowded. But the Quartzsite area is really pretty neat for people that want to get out of the cold weather in different parts of the USA, because the climate there is fairly good, but there's always a but. It's desert, okay? It is desert, and it's wherever you camp out there, unless you camp in an RV park. If you camp on public lands, then it's just out on the dirt, and if it rains, it can be kind of messy. It probably won't, but it could. The really downside there in Quartzsite, for me, at least a couple of times I've been there, is the winds. It's typical desert winds, and they can get up pretty gusty, and the temperature will be 60 degrees and the wind blowing 20 or plus miles an hour out of the northwest. Yeah, that can be pretty miserable. Yeah, because that means you're stuck in your RV, or else you're going to have to get in your vehicle and just drive around and go looking at stuff, maybe go to the big tent and Quartzsite and stuff like that. But it's anyway, so when you're traveling, be sure you know what the wind is going to be. Have I ever gotten caught out? Sure, many times at least, but I did know it was coming. Now, dog, I hope you don't come across the road. Thank you. There was a dog starting to cross the road, but he didn't, thank goodness. So, but yeah, RVing My Way is RVing My Way, Rusty 78609 way, is easy way, slow way, no hurry way. That's the way I go. Now, did I do that in the beginning? No, I don't think so. I don't know what I did. I was just starting. I had a travel trailer that was much above the limits of my tow vehicle. I didn't even check. I never did ask the dry weight of the RV that I bought. I don't think I ever asked. I mean, I just knew that it looked like it would work for me, and away I went. And yeah, it was. I'm not sure if I towed it or it pushed me, one of the two, but it worked out okay. And then I gradually downsized to a smaller RV, and that's another thing for RVing my way is small RVs are good for me. I'm one person, don't have any pets. I've thought many times about getting a pet, but it just doesn't work out. I mean, the dog, whether it's a dog or a cat, it doesn't matter. They all have their little quote issues, and RVing my way does not include one. I don't want cat dander or hair in my RV. I don't want dog hair in my RV. I don't want fleas and all that. I know you can do the pills and all that stuff and get rid of that crap, but in odor, you got to bathe the animals or do something to keep them from stinking, because they are what they are, and I'm not blaming them. It's the way it is. But anyway, no, and peace and quiet is my thing. I don't like crowds. Will I go to casita events, gatherings? Probably not. Why? Because it's not something I really want to do. I mean, I'm not a joiner, so to speak. I'm not a crowd person, and that's the way that is. And that's RVing my way. RVing my way, I'll tell you an ideal, it was rough. It wasn't a real thrill, but I stayed at some BLM land just north of Socorro, New Mexico, off of I-25. It was hard to find the place, but I finally did. There was no one there. I stayed there for like 4 days, and there was no one there. And one time I was in my Prius, and one time I was in my pickup with a camper top, and no, it was nobody there. I mean, nothing. And do I like that? Yeah, it's kind of neat. It is. You got to be up to the challenge, so to speak. But you had good visibility, so you weren't in a forest. If I was in a forest, I'd have been a little paranoid. But desert where I can see around what's going on around me, I feel pretty comfortable with that. And that was a pretty neat place. A little rugged, a little dusty. Wind got up a couple of days. Carlsbad, the place near Carlsbad, the BLM near there that I've stayed at a few times, it's okay. But again, whenever I get there, it's in the spring or May, and the winds are still blowing like crazy. But I do enjoy now going to public land almost as much as I enjoy going to improved BLMs. And when I say improved, that means sometimes they have water, sometimes they have water and electric, and sometimes they'll have showers, and they're pretty. The reason I go to them, of course, is I have that senior pass, and I get a 50% discount. So RVing my way also includes being a little low budget, because my YouTube channel, and I know it's peaked. I mean, I may pick up a few more subscribers, but as far as views, nobody wants to watch. I don't do anything really exciting. I don't jump off buildings and all that stuff, and I don't have catchy titles and stuff. So you don't attract the views, and so therefore I've leveled off. I know that, but that's fine. I don't care. And as long as I'm able to generate enough income from this and the Amazon stuff to pay my expenses, I'm good. And so that's part of RVing my way, is to generate enough income to pay the expenses, and that's good. That's all I want to do. But yeah, we're on Park Road 4 in Central Texas. I thought about going down South Texas in January, but I think I'm going to postpone that and just wait until maybe March or April and head out west for a few months. Where I'll go, I'm not sure. Probably some of the same places I've been before, because it's comfortable. See, that's RVing my way. I mean, I like things to be reasonably predictable now in my older years. I don't want to be without cell phone service. That's one thing. And I do carry 2 cell phones, one AT&T and one Verizon. The AT&T phone's just a track phone thing. It's cost me about $10 a month. And sometimes it's nothing. They come out with these bonuses and you get a free month. But be that as it may, yeah, RVing my way is the easy way, the cheap way, slow way, kind of moving along like an old turtle, and just, kind of chilling out. Like right now I'm driving 45 miles an hour, and if I was towing an RV on a road like this and there was very little, if any, traffic, that's about what I'd tow. I'm in no hurry. See that? And that's why I get 17 miles to the gallon towing the Casita. Is not only do I drive slow, but the Casita has a little aerodynamic shape, which helps improve the miles per gallon. Yeah, I really like the Casita. For me, without a doubt, is the best camping RV I have ever had. Now, as far as a living in RV, it's small. I will say that. The wet bath is okay. I mean, I've learned how to do it, and it's great. But as far as traveling and camping using the Prius, geez, I mean, it's heaven. It beats anything I've ever done. It beats the heck out of going in the truck or going in the Prius or stuff like that. It's small enough and light enough that it's not a hard pull. You're not worn out when you get to your destination. So RVing my way includes trying to keep it simple, man. That for me, people talk about even me, I talked about getting a backup camera and doing all this stuff, getting a antenna to extend my cell phone signal, and you start adding these things, and the next thing you know, you got a lot of stuff, and it's really, RVing is really simple if you allow it, I mean, you can complicate it, and I've never really complicated it because I never had enough money to do it, but for me, backing up and hooking up, it may take me a few minutes, but I'm not in a hurry. So what difference does it make? And I've got it down now to I can hook up by myself in a matter of, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 minutes. It's no big deal. As far as setting up the trailer, the Casita, you only need to put down 2 jacks, and I took those screw jacks off the back because they'll probably drag because it's low to the ground. So I took those off to take that worry off my mind, and that's RVing my way too, is to keep it not only simple but easy. And simple, I guess, is easy. But I got went back to the old retro, or whatever you want to call it, jacks, and you just need to use 2, because with the when you got the front hitch, when you got it down and got it level that way, front to rear, and then the jacks just stabilize it and you're good to go. In fact, there's times that I've camped years ago that I didn't put down any jacks at all for 2 or 3 days. Why? Because it was stable enough for me. I'm not hard to please, and and I've gotten a real routine now. Using the quote plastic bag to poop in. That saves all the odor and having to worry about dumping your tanks. And I've done that for about almost 2 years now. So it's that's a real relief, because I can go anywhere now. If they've got water and electric, I can be there a year, because what I can do is I've talked to BLM, and if you're on BLM land, and all you're gonna, if you're gonna, you can drain your gray water, which is basically your kitchen sink and your shower, and that's all I have, and that comes from the fresh water tank, which is I think on a Casita like 16 gallons, and that for me is good for about 8 days, because I'll have drinking water as a separate item. But yeah, camping my way, or RVing my way, is pretty simple, pretty laid back. As far as cooking and all that stuff, easy peasy. Because you can fix a lot of simple things. And if I have electric, I can use that Instant Pot and fix all kind of food, so that's easy done. As far as sleeping, not a problem. As far as keeping warm, not a problem, because I don't go to places where it's really cold. Now the heat, I have been trapped or not trapped, but caught out, so to speak, where the weather is a little bit warmer than I like, without being able to run the AC. I've had that happen a few times, and that probably happen again, because during the day it does warm up in the west where I go, but I usually get in the elevations above 4,000, 5,000 feet, and so it's not too bad. At night, during the day, it can heat up to around 90, 92, a little uncomfortable, but I've got that, the Max Air Max fan, vent fan, 10-speed in the Casita, right in a perfect place. It's right in the center of the Casita, which is perfect, because you can open the windows a little bit and turn that Max Air Max fan on, and it moves a lot of air, so you can be comfortable. So RVing my way includes not running the AC very often. In fact, rarely. Solar is the only way to go for me. I have no interest in a generator at all. Do I need more solar? No, I'm fine. I can run my refrigerator, I can run the Max Air fan, and the lights are never a problem at all. I got solar lights if I need them. But in the West, at the time I get there, daylight savings time has changed, so you spring forward, you turn the clocks forward 1 hour. So by the time the sun sets out there in the west, I'm already ready to go to bed anyway. So RVing my way includes, going west, and right about sunset, I'm good. I'm through. My day's over, man. I'm ready to hit the hay. Y'all get tired of looking at me. Anyway, but I'm just talking, guys, because I've got the itch to go RVing right now. But I'm not going to do it because there's no place like home right now. I mean, I can't really beat it. I mean, I've been watching the weather in Quartzsite, Arizona, Zapata, Texas, Rio Grande, Texas, and without exception for the last several days, watching the 10-day forecast, right where I am is the best choice. And as long as that's there, well, that's what I'm going to do. Because weather is the camping trip. The weather pretty much makes the trip. I noticed that this is a side note, has nothing to do with RVing, but I did notice this morning, I read a little story about Lowe's, the hardware stores, lumber yard things, where I'm going to go walking right now. They're going to close a whole bunch of stores in 2019. They've already got the ones picked out they're going to close. I don't think this is one of them. The one I'm going to, I hope not, because it comes in handy on these rainy days when I like to go walking. But they're going to close a lot of stores. The number one, I guess you'd say, hardware lumber yard type outlet in the U.S. is Home Depot. They're about 3 times the size of Lowe's. And I think it has a lot to do with how they're managed, because this Lowe's, I have to tell you, if I was the manager of this store, boy, howdy. I mean, maybe he has a lot of turnover, but man, sometimes you can't even get out in the aisles because they got them blocked with stuff they haven't finished unpacking and stuff, which, I know they have to do, but, stay on it till you get it done, guy. Don't just walk off and leave it half done. But anyway, guys, from Central Texas, USA. This is Rusty78609 saying thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy whatever you want anytime, but if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products. I get a small commission, doesn't cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty of water, keep your health however you can. Stand guard at the door of your mind and enjoy your life one day at a time, guys. We'll talk again. Just remember, RVing my way is my way. Bye.